everyone to a brand new Sit Down with Big Vito right here on the Big Vito brand. It's, of course, Big Vito Lagrasso in the house, myself, and Dr. Jargo. The trio team is back once again from the Big Vito brand. Gentlemen, what's up?
So stood the great trifecta. What's going on, guys?
How's everybody in the house? I hope everybody's doing good. Guys, how was Thanksgiving?
It was good, man. I mean, for me, it's just a Thursday because I got to work on holidays, you know, because somebody's got to keep the TV on while y'all are sitting at home on the couch watching football.
Who's sitting home? I work.
All in all, it was a pretty good holiday.
Mr. Virtue's the one was sitting there, family, still living on the engagement love. You know what I mean?
I was at my fiance's sister's house for the Wednesday and Thursday. So a lot of people coming in, and we watched planes, trains, and automobiles. We watched football. Nice. We ate a lot of food, and now, I was worn out.
Is this the first time you actually said fiance on national TV?
I think I said it on A Getting Color after I said girlfriend, and then I corrected myself.
All right, so you're getting used to it. It's new. It's a novelty.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You know, it'll wear off. We'll come up with some new key names. Jargo does. Anyway.
I'm sitting in my living room right now, Vito, because my back's been hurting me a little bit, so it's comfortable right here. So well, this is why we got a little change of scenery.
Well, I mean, Jargo and I know when you're carrying all those engagement gifts, you know, your back is kind of like, you know, patting
that's
you on the back,
okay,
good
though.
luck, you know what I mean?
Icy hot, you know, ever since I turned 40, ibuprofen, icy hot.
Excedrin tension headache. That's the stuff right there, man.
Ooh. All right, guys. Listen, we got some good stuff happening here. Let's start off with some football. Tom Brady lost another game. What do you guys think?
Jargo?
I mean, is it safe to say that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers just aren't really necessarily that good? But I feel like nobody in the NFC is necessarily that good. Vito, if the Buccaneers make it into the playoffs, if they make it into the playoffs,
they're leading their division.
Are you going to bet against them?
No.
I mean, Tom Brady in the playoffs?
No.
I mean, completely different scenario. I still feel like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are the team to beat in the NFC.
I get you. I definitely 100% believe that.
Their defense, they need, like, I don't know, Brady, right? They could be slowing down. They got a good young running back in there, Rashad White or whatever his name is. So if they utilize their running game, give Brady a running game. Maybe that'll take some pressure off him. And the defense, Vito, I don't care how good you are. The team needs to have a good defense to keep just to keep the offense, like, where they don't have to always come back in the fourth quarter.
Now,
every single game, and
you made a point.
That's the Buccaneers' problem.
Green Bay Packers, Aaron Rodgers tanking. He should have left and went somewhere else.
I don't think they're tanking, Vito. I think they just stink. I mean, like, to me, like, tanking is you're losing on purpose. I don't think the Packers are losing on purpose. I think the Packers just stink. But I do think that we more than likely have seen Aaron Rodgers in a Packers uniform for the last time. I think he's done.
So what's going to happen? I thought he had that contract.
They'll trade him. If anybody's kicking themselves right now, it's the Denver Broncos for mortgaging the entire future to go get Russell Wilson when it looks like Aaron Rodgers is going to be available.
I was hoping Rodgers would go there. And guess what? Broncos have a pretty good defense. They just can't score. That's where your offense sucks.
Now, you talk about teams that can't score. Let's talk about the New York Jets, who just switched quarterbacks to Mr. White, and he definitely dominated this past week, and the Jets were victorious after the week before where they couldn't score against the Patriots. Guys, are the Jets are they for real this year?
No, not
I mean, both New York teams are, like, doing better than they have in a long time, right? And you can say, Vito, you got wild card opportunity there. But if they do get in, I think they're a first week beat, both of them, both teams. That's just what I think.
Agreed.
Odell Beckham to the Giants.
Odell Beckham getting kicked off a plane. I mean, that seems to be the much bigger story at this point. Like, what's going on with OBJ? Is he even mentally ready to step on a football field? Because I think the answer is no. He
reminds me of Antonio Brown.
Yep.
I don't know if he's that bad, but I get what you're saying. Yeah. I think he's still. I think he goes to. I think he might end up in Dallas. I think Jerry Jones is dumb enough to do it late in the season, thinking, "Well, look how it worked out for the Rams last year, and he scored a touchdown in the Super Bowl."
Jerry Jones has got his own problems right at the moment, and they don't involve football.
Now, well, why not divert that into bringing a diva receiver in there to take some spotlight off yourself?
Fair enough.
Well, that was my next subject, guys. LeBron James made a very key comment. We're all talking about Kyrie Irving, but nobody's talking about Jerry Jones. Is that a fair assessment of how things are going?
Yes, it's absolutely a fair assessment, but let's also consider that, you know, it was 50 years ago. Jerry Jones was 14 when that picture was taken, and it's completely irrelevant to everything that's going on. And until LeBron James comes out and speaks about what's going on in China right now, I don't want to hear a goddamn thing that comes out of his mouth.
Virtue, what do you think about this?
Yeah, like digging up stuff from the past. I don't know. It's just this whole culture the last several years. I mean, if somebody's exposed for being like Charles Manson, like I'm talking that type of
Wait. What? Charles Manson never killed anybody.
I know, but like
Charles Manson was a bumbling buffoon. Okay, I see the comparison to Jerry Jones.
Yeah. But like, you know, the next Ted Bundy is found or whoever, Jeffrey Dahmer, then we got problems, okay? But I don't know, man. Like guilty until proven innocent in the court of law.
Now, I got to ask you guys something, and this is a very serious intellectual question, okay? Did you guys ever listen to what Charles Manson ever had to say?
Absolutely. I have studied Charles Manson forwards, backwards, inside down, and upside out.
Now, when I listened to him,
Mega pop to sloppy slimy egg.
Exactly.
Mega pop.
Sloppy. All right. Now, when you listen to him, he makes a lot of sense in a lot of things he says. We got.
This book is full of psychobabble bullshit where he speaks in riddles and talks backwards. That's all it is. Charles Manson was an absolute joke, and the people that seem to like put him as this grave criminal mastermind need to stop watching like Dateline NBC.
No, you're right. You're right. But some of the things he did say, or some of his scriptures, they ring pretty true. And I'm not saying that you'll listen to a nutcase or somebody who's been put away, but some of the things he says aren't that far-fetched. But let's talk about basketball. Russell Westbrook coming off the bench. The Lakers are starting to win. Do they Patrick Beverly and Kendrick Nunn on the block instead of Russell Westbrook? Jago, I'm tired of listening about Russell Westbrook trade talk. Mr. Virtue is tired of it. It's your team. What do we do?
I'm doing a show, Dad. My dad's here. Did my dad ever make a cameo on the camera?
Go ahead. Send them on. Put them on.
We want Daddy Virtue.
Yeah. You know what he watches? And I didn't mean to interrupt you. He likes to watch women's beach volleyball. So that's...
So do I.
Yeah, women's beach volleyball.
We all have something in common.
He's going to go check that out.
Bring a scotch with you.
Yes.
Cameo. There he goes.
All right.
Look at it. He's got it made.
Walking away. As far as Russell Westbrook goes, the problem is he's being paid $47.1 million this year. That's the problem. Like, he's playing very, very well off the bench, but I'm not paying my sixth man $47.1 million. The problem with the Russell Westbrook trade talk is nobody else wants to pay Russell Westbrook $47.1 million either, and who can blame them? I don't think the Lakers make a trade because I don't think the Lakers have any trade assets.
They're going to go, and that's the thing. They got Westbrook. I think they're stuck with it. And I mean, unless I can't even think any scenario where anybody would want to pick that up. And Vito, They're going to go as far. Go ahead.
The only scenario, Virtue, would be if somebody made that trade and released him immediately just for cap relief. That would be the only way that Russell Westbrook gets traded. And nobody's going to make that trade because the only team that would make that trade is the Indiana Pacers, who are actually playing pretty well.
Guys, I say trade Anthony Davis. Put LeBron at the 5.
But Davis has been tearing it up and he's healthy, or do you think he's going to get hurt because he always does?
Yes.
Well, yeah. I mean, I feel like that's kind of the inevitable with Anthony Davis, right? But the Lakers have figured out this team needs to run through Anthony Davis, not LeBron James. As their fortunes have kind of turned around here a little bit, with the exception of the Pacers, like beating them at the buzzer the other night. That was absolutely incredible. But as long as they run that offense through Anthony Davis, the Lakers aren't awful. And Vito, I believe it was me that told you a couple of weeks ago, don't worry about the Lakers. The Lakers will be fine. They're not going to shoot 29% forever.
No, you're right. I'm just shocked Carmelo Anthony is still not playing.
I give it till Christmas. I think somebody picks him up between Christmas and the 1st of February.
Think about it. For him, someone's going to pick him up because this is load management now, right? He's getting all this time to rest and be 100%, and then boom, you got a guy that plays 20 to 25 minutes off the bench that's instant offense. That's probably what's happening. I bet you he's got a negotiation table with, what, half a dozen teams?
And he's the 6th man that's not going to get paid $47.1 million.
Yep, big difference.
Let's go to Knick basketball. What do you think of the Knicks so far? 500 team.
That's
good,
what
bad,
they are.
Different.
I mean, I'm happy that they're there, Vito, because that's what they are. I don't know what they're missing. Coaching, just that superstar. But think about it. The one year they did good, what happened that year? They had like the ridiculous season out of Julius Randle, and Derrick Rose was balling, right? It took that for them just to get to the playoffs and get knocked out by Atlanta. Ever since that came back to normal, Derrick Rose, his injury, his age, Randle back to his mid-level superstar status at best, that's what they are. I'm admitting it. I'm a Knicks fan.
I think that the Knicks have the same level players across the board, and that's why nobody pops out.
That's true.
Yep. No, I think that's fair.
Fair assessment. But anybody stand out this year in basketball?
The Indiana Pacers. I mean, the Pacers, I think, have to be the surprise team of the entire league at this point, don't they?
Except for the Nets, who are the surprise team who's losing.
I think we all kind of saw that coming, though.
We did.
Let's see. I mean, there's nothing that's really surprising with load management, and it's still like pre-2023, right? So, like, until you start getting to that all-star breaks, closer to April when the playoffs start, then I'm going to say, like, who's good. Cavaliers, right? They have a good young team. They've kind of had streaks. They've fallen up. They've coming back up. Vito, you can pick a handful of teams right now. You know what I like about this NBA?
Go ahead.
We don't know who's going to win the championship. I like that finally. It's been about, think about all those years where you knew one or two, maybe 3 teams tops. Now you can – how many teams, Jargo, do you think could be in contention if they got hot at the right time? 10, 12?
Right now, I feel like it's a 2-team race. I feel like we could play the finals tomorrow, just put Boston and Phoenix in there and let them go at it. I mean, I feel like those 2 teams are so far above everybody else right now.
I think they're beatable.
No Milwaukee.
No, I've never bought Milwaukee. Even when Milwaukee won their chip, I didn't buy Milwaukee.
And the only reason they won is because who was it? Kyrie Irving got hurt.
Yep.
That is the truth. Let's switch to baseball. No free agent signings. Guys, what is going on?
I think everybody's waiting to see what happens with the judge, right? I mean, because if there's a half a dozen teams that are trying to get Aaron Judge, and that's going to cost you upwards of $320 to $350 million over the course of the next 10 years, you kind of got to wait for that card to fall wherever it may before you start making other moves.
Are they going to get insurance for him too, whoever gets him?
I would.
They have to.
These contracts are absolutely ridiculous.
They're obscene.
Absolutely ridiculous.
Justin Verlander, hot talks with the Mets. I would like to see the Mets sign 2 of those guys, Verlander and then go to work on the rest of the team. They were talking Verlander for the Yankees. I think that would put them over the top pitching wise. But to the Mets, just say if they brought back DeGrom and they had Verlander and Scherzer, that'd be the best three.
If everybody's healthy,
right? That would be
nobody's declining. It's at some point, somebody's going to decline. Like that, it always happens. It's inevitable.
And I feel like it's Verlander, right? I mean, like Verlander has been so good for so long, but if you've got DeGrom, Scherzer, and Verlander, I feel like Verlander is your number 3 starter at this point.
Really? Even after coming off a Cy Young winning season?
Absolutely.
So you're saying Scherzer had a better year than Verlander?
No, I'm saying going forward, I think Scherzer is going to be the better player. If you're looking if you're going to sign somebody for 3 to 5 years, I think I would rather have Scherzer than I would Verlander at this point.
Dude, just imagine though, if you could have Verlander as your number 3 starter, even at his age, like that's pretty
nasty.
Right?
That's nasty. That's the Atlanta Braves with Tom Glavine,
John Smoltz, Maddox.
That's what it reminds you of. Now, guys, let's switch over to wrestling. Some big news, right? We got a lot of things happen. MJF finally won the title. Does that put them over the top?
No.
It's always going to be the same AEW. I don't know what needs to change, but like they clearly, I mean, look at WWE. It took them decades, and they're still not what they used to be in terms of live attendance, like house shows, the TV ratings. And I get it, right? We're in 2022 and there's social media streaming, but I'm telling you, how's AEW going to even get to where WWE is at? It's global reach.
But now they were talking about we had this conversation all week. And MJF doesn't move the needle. I think he drops the ball with this, and he's going to be like the rest of them. And the one thing that got me more upset than anything is I seen the match with Jericho and the Japanese star. I know you're a big Japanese guy, Mr. Jargo.
Yeah.
When you seen that slap fist, what was your thoughts on the slap fest?
I mean, it's Japanese strong style. I didn't have a problem with the slap fest. The part that bothered me was Jericho blading his chest. Like, that's just not necessary in a 2022 context. Ishii can beat you up all by himself. You don't need to bleed from your nipple so that, it looks better. Like,
let me ask you something about Jericho. Like, I'm thinking how he ended his WWE run. He had that pretty hot program with Kevin Owens. I know it kind of like got derailed with the Brock Lesnar and all that. And then him and KO only had a U.S. title match, the second match in. But that was entertaining Jericho. Then he went and did that stuff in Japan, entertaining Jericho. And even early on in AEW. What's happening to him? I'm going to ask you this as serious, Vito, not as a joke. Could he have CTE or something? I'm not understanding why he's doing some of the stuff he's doing. He's smarter than that, especially coming off of what he did prior to all of that.
I think it's because he doesn't want to be redundant. He wants to do something different. But I think that his best stuff was the Kevin Owens thing. You made the list. I thought that was great. I thought that him being that guy in WWE, that was entertaining. I just don't think he's been entertaining here in AEW. I really don't.
Jargo, is he just collecting a check and he's just trying to find a way to extend that, like the Tony Khan check? Because, this is not the Jericho I remember.
I feel like – did you hear the new Metallica single?
I did.
What did you think of it?
On any classic, metal bands, rock bands, when they come out with new stuff, unless it's a band that started within the last 20 years, it takes me a while to get into it, man. I'm, mixed.
That's very much how I feel about Chris Jericho and his AEW run. I feel like he is trying to go back to the glory Lionheart days and prove that he is not only a sports entertainer, but he is also the best professional wrestler on the face of the planet. He's chasing legacy at this point, because when you really sit down and look at Jericho's accomplishments over the course of his career, whether it be in AEW, whether it be in New Japan, whether it be in WWE, whether it be in WCW, whether it be in ECW, he's chasing chasing GOAT status at this point. And so he's going out there and he's trying to have these 2022 New Japan Pro Wrestling insane matches, and he just can't physically do it anymore. I mean, when I listen to that new Metallica song, it sounds like they're trying to be Motorhead. That's what it sounds like. And it's like, you're not Motorhead. Just go be Metallica. I just want Chris Jericho to go be Chris Jericho and not try to be Will Ospreay. And I feel like that's kind of where we're at.
Hey, Metallica did a concert on all 7 continents. Maybe Jericho's having that mentality. Same mentality.
I mean, that's the only way I can explain this entire run, starting from, you know, the whole beginning of the Painmaker thing, the whole run in New Japan, him signing with AEW. He's chasing GOAT status, and he saw how he was being used in the WWE. He saw that he was an early to mid-card guy, and he feels like he's better than that. And so he's going out there and he's trying to prove it, just like Ric Flair did with his last match, which was also a dumpster fire.
I get it, guys. That's it. And then you got WWE, Sami Zayn, the hottest babyface on the planet, yes or no?
Well, I can't call him the hottest babyface on the planet yet because he's still a heel, but I do feel like we're getting to that point. I mean, even No DQ opened up their voting for Male Wrestler of the Year. Who's leading the category? Sami Zayn, not Roman Reigns.
Yep. No kidding, really.
It's going to be a fun one. I don't know how long Aaron runs these polls, but the percentage of all the votes for that category, it was like 38 to 34. You know, Zayn, Reigns, the top 2. And that was a day after I said, oh, Reigns is going to run away with this. Nope.
Are we starting to buy into the idea of Sami Zayn versus Roman Reigns at WrestleMania, especially after what happened at War Games with Roman and KO?
I think that they don't have anything else to go with, and this is the hottest thing they got.
I mean, unless Cody comes back.
I'm still sticking to the bloodline story. If we get closer and we don't see anything about Dwayne, and I'll know he's never coming back, I have to get that far to believe that.
But guys, let me ask you a question. What do we do with Randy Orton? What do we do with Brock Lesnar? Where do these guys stand in the mix? Where are they?
The way it sounds, Randy Orton's not standing much of anywhere right at the moment, and I'm not sure if we're ever going to see Randy Orton back in the ring. I mean, when you start having spinal fusion surgery, that's a bit of a recoup, and we may have seen the end of full-time Randy Orton anyway.
What about Riddle? Have you ever seen anybody go from like that big of a star to like? I mean, he dropped to like big-time mid-card where he should have been all the time. If it wasn't for the Randy Orton run, I don't think he would have accomplished anything.
Not in that current state. He's not going to come out acting like that, being a star. He needs to be a badass MMA fighter, heel, Jargo, you know exactly what I'm talking about. The state that Riddle's in, it's never going to happen.
What they have done, gimmick. What they did with Baron Corbin is what they should have done with Matt Riddle.
That's a good point.
Now, Austin Theory is now taking up that serious character. That's another guy who...
He's reminding me of Randy Orton now, kind of, sort of.
I've always gotten that vibe from Austin Theory, and I don't think there's any question. He is going to be the next Randy Orton, John Cena. Like, that is the position that they're putting Austin Theory into, for better or for worse.
Dude, he's getting that John Cena body, too. Every week, he's a little bit bigger and bigger in certain areas, like the Cena, like, you know how Cena's body shape is with his muscles? Wow. I don't know. We'll see, though. Can he cut the mic stuff? Can he cut the entertaining stuff? That remains to be seen.
Well, and wasn't that always the difference between Randy Orton and John Cena?
It was, yeah. And Randy,
I mean, Orton was definitely the better worker, but Cena could go out there and hold that entire audience in the palm of his hand for 15 minutes. And Randy Orton was always the kind of guy that hand me the script, I will memorize the script, and I will go out there and I will recite it verbatim. He was definitely a professional wrestler in a sports entertainment world, and we'll see what happens with Austin Theory. I mean, for me, anyway, you're only as good as your rival, right? Like The Rock had Hunter. Cena had JBL. He had Undertaker. You know, he had Orton. Who's going to step up and be that Randy Orton to Austin Theory's John Cena? I haven't seen that person on the roster.
And I don't think that they will have one. And the two guys who we were talking about, who we thought were going to be, you know, big stars in the WWE, you had Finn Balor and AJ Styles, and they are super mid-card guys. They're not that star-studded.
They're both over 40, though.
Yeah, but being over 40 doesn't mean the life is over. Hulk Hogan.
No, but it does mean we're not going to build the roster around you. I mean, and it's kind of the LeBron Anthony Davis thing, right? Like LeBron can no longer be that centerpiece for the Lakers. The team has to run through Anthony Davis. AJ Styles is 42 years old. Finn Balor's 41 years old. Like, you're not building the roster around those guys at this point.
Yeah, but you still should be able to get your money's worth. I mean, Edge, I think should, Edge, everybody says Edge. Edge is boring to me. I don't find nothing appealing about him. He's boring.
I feel like Edge really hurt his legacy with this last run that he had.
That he did. That he really did.
Maybe Edge always needed Christian.
I always thought Christian was the more talented of the two. I still feel that way.
That's what I think.
Edge just had a better look.
Does Steven Regal go back to the WWE when his contract is up?
Yes.
According to Mike Johnson, something's up, something's brewing, and the angle they did with MJF on Dynamite, it's looking that way.
Yeah, but why would they release Regal at the height of this angle?
Because his contract's up in December. They're not releasing him. His contract is up. It was a short-term deal.
Yeah, and the contract being up and Triple H now being in charge, I mean, Regal's probably licking his chops to get back to what he was doing.
I bet you he's got a mouthful of stories to tell about the AEW, and they all can't wait down at the WWE locker room.
Well, I mean, the WWE locker room and the AEW locker room are basically the same locker room. Like, all those people hang out together. Like, it's not like WCW and WWF back in the day. Like, you tune into a Twitch stream and you see, Claudio and Adam Cole, and they're hanging out with Xavier Woods and Tyler Breeze, and they're that differential only exists in the eyes of the fans, not in the eyes of the talent.
And I could definitely tell you, being a WCW guy and a WWE guy, there was never no camaraderie there. If you were on one side or you were on the other side, there was no hanging out, and you definitely didn't do it in public. That's for damn sure.
I feel like it's ruined sports, right? Because, like, you see, like, the Bears and the Packers, right? And after the game, all those players are out at midfield and they're yucking it up and they're switching jerseys back and forth, and the fans want to murder one another. Like, yeah. I miss that. I miss when the teams didn't like each other rather than the fans just disliking each other.
You mean like Michael Jordan not liking anybody, wanting to kill people and be,
Pistons and the Bulls, like that.
Well, I mean, even Magic and Bird, they were friends until they stepped on a basketball court, and then they were trying to murder one another,
but
right?
That was the good old days of, ball playing. Hey, listen, when I'm competitive in sports and I go out there, I don't give a shit if you suck, and I'm going to play my game. And this is a good example. I play pickleball, right?
I know pickleball. Where's the video? We need footage of this pickleball.
We will update it. We will update it. But here's the thing. I've gotten to be really, really good at this. And there are people who get on and they can't run with me. But I'm going to play my game. Of course, I slow it down sometimes. But 9 times out of 10, I ain't slowing down for nobody no more, because then it throws off your whole game. And I just want to play my game. I don't want to have to worry about it. 4 other people can't hang with me. I want to win. And that's it. And Michael Jordan has that mentality. I have the mentality in wrestling. I'm going to go out there. I'm better than you. I'm going to show you. I'm going to fucking eat you. I'm going to, you're not better than me. I didn't give a shit who I was in the ring with. I was better than you. So,
amen.
With that, and no DQ, Mr. Jargo, Channel 4 News team is asking for your presence. When are you coming on?
I will be available to be back on the No DQ review, not this upcoming Thursday, but the Thursday following. So whatever date that comes up to be.
All right. Now, Mr. Virtue, can we arrange something, since you do have some in? Can we arrange something for a Sunday where we can get Mr. Jargo, yourself, Mr. Aaron Riff, and me, the Channel 4 News team?
Jargo, how's your availability on Sundays?
Sundays, I leave for work at 7 p.m.
Okay, so we're going to still be in a pinch, Vito. So we'll definitely have to figure that one out, because I know that's better for you, Vito, like we did last week, by the way. And I'm going to have to figure that one out.
What are the numbers? Give me the numbers.
2,000 views, and we haven't even been up a week yet. And the previous video was like 1,500. And there's lack of good drawing stories and news lately too. So Vito, you did it again. You brought our numbers up.
All right, guys, that's a wrap for today. This is a great conversation. We're at the 30-minute mark. Guys, close it out. Do your thing. Get over. Go.
Jargo, any plugs? I know you're like, eh.
Yeah, I'm not really doing the social media thing. I mean, hell, even Noel had to text me today because I didn't see the Facebook Messenger. So you can keep up with me across social media platforms at NotJargo, although chances are I probably won't talk to you.
And I'm over on Twitter.
Wait a minute. My wife has your number?
Yeah.
Oh,
I don't have
business.
I don't have a number.
You're not the producer.
What happened to the love? What happened to...
Not the producer.
You got to keep the producers happy, Vito. It's not about the talent. It's about the producers.
Oh, Noel wanted to talk about relationships and stuff. We're going to have to pick that up next time, see?
Yeah, we'll do it next time.
Never even got to it, Vito.
I know. Go ahead, Mr.
All right, there's my Twitter handle right below me, at @NoDQ_Virtue on Twitter. And, of course, Vito's on Twitter as well, at the Big Vito brand. This has been the Sit Down, though, with Big Vito, and he's been facilitating the topics. I love it. That's all we got. For Big Vito LaGrasso, for Dr. Jargo, I am Virtue from No DQ. And guess what? We're going to round up, and we'll see you again next time. Good night, everyone.
Catch Vito and the Big V Mafia on Twitch, Monday and Thursday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern.